Go. What's up, people? My name is Harsh Shah, CD 2020 All India Rank 4 and 99.99 percentile. I'm from the top percentile. And in today's episode of 10 Questions with the Toppers, we have with us someone really special. All India Rank 8, 99.99 percentile. She's coming from Aurangabad. So let us all welcome Miss Rutuja Somani. So, hey Rutuja, what's up? How's it going on?
Hi, Harsh. Thank you so much for giving me such a beautiful platform to share my views. I would like to congratulate you first for sharing the same experience, and I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So, first of all, that was my first question. Congratulations to you too. Can you take us through that moment when you actually saw the results PDF in your hands and what was it like? What was everyone's reaction?
Sure. So I would like to start saying that I was quite nervous because as I had repeated this year, so last year even I had given the CET, and I was like maybe just some percentile before the passing cutoff marks. So as soon as I just saw the result, actually I didn't get to see the result directly. I was waiting that maybe I'll not just see it directly. So it was my teacher, like coaching institute's teacher's message that popped up, and he was like, "Congratulations, Rutuja, you have made it up to JBIMS." So I was like happy. It was like okay, so finally I made it, but I didn't know that what rank I was going through or where I was being positioned in the list. So he had shared the document with me, and I just opened it, and I couldn't see my name because I just scrolled down, very quickly from the top 10 list. So obviously no one expects directly seeing like one's name in the first top 10 list.
True.
And I was like shocked. I was like, maybe sir had some confusion, or maybe I had no expectations actually. I was not expecting anything. And then when I revisited from the very first rank, I was like, let's see who are all those. Maybe I know someone. And it was like eighth rank, and there was my name. So I just couldn't believe it. I just cross checked the name for maybe 15 to 20 times, and then I shouted. I was like, Mom, that such and such thing has happened. So it was amazing, like just amazing.
Crazy, right? I mean, I would have also checked my application number. I believe you would have also done that because it's
Yeah,
totally
definitely.
surreal. Yep. So you gave last year CET as well. But let's talk about this
Yeah.
year. When did you start preparing for CET specifically this year? And what other exams did you cover from last year and this year also? Like, what was it like?
Yes. So basically, I started in January, the first week of January after I gave the ZAT exam. So I believe that 2 months of serious preparations is enough for cracking CET. If you have like dedicated efforts, it's completely fine. What you just need is speed. And what other exams I covered was CAT and NMAT along with ZAT.
Okay. And how were your performances over there?
So I scored a little lower, marks in CAT and ZAT because of the verbal section. But in MAT, I could score 99 percentile. So even that was a good score.
Okay, amazing. So basically, again, we are just reiterating this point in every video of ours that it's fine if CAT, ZAT, or any other exam does not go well. You can still ace CET. That is totally possible. So my third question to you is going to be like, what was your preparation like? How many mocks did you give, and what were your scores like? What was your first score, and how did it range towards the end?
Right. So when I started giving mocks, I hadn't decided the number of mocks, like the exact number of mocks that I'll be giving, but I gave around 22 mocks. And what my strategy was that giving one of the mocks today, analyzing it tomorrow, and giving it another, giving the another one the very next day. So this went off, and maybe a Sunday I could take a quick break and revise the concepts
Hmm.
and solve some of the sums. So I could score in the range of 130 to 140 with flukes. So first I started giving the exams without flukes, but then to have a practice of having the flukes, like after I was done with 10 mocks, I also started with flukes, and I could score in the range of 130 to 140. And one can expect that if we have consistency while giving mocks, you can definitely expect to score in the same range in the final exam too.
Perfect, makes sense. So I believe you gave one mock in a day and then analyzes the next day because you were working alongside your preparation. So we'll just come back to
Yes,
that
yes.
question later on. But for now, let's ask you about the fourth question, which is what was your overall test taking strategy in terms of time distribution, and which sections did you attempt first, and what was the flow like on the day of CET?
Uh, Yeah, so basically, in the first two, three mocks, I had tried different strategies. So, rearranging the sections, like giving abstract first, then English, whatever. And then I could boil down to one of these strategies, and I maintained it throughout. And I would suggest that everyone should do it in the very preliminary stage, so that you get stuck to one of the strategies, and then your mind can perform functionally in a better manner, I would say.
Hmm.
So, I would give 25 minutes maximum to the abstract session in the beginning, followed by 30 minutes to the English session, plus or minus 1 minute, and you should stick to it. Definitely, that is one of the strategies you need to follow. And after that, as my stronger section was the data analysis part, so the logical ability, I mean. So I gave 60 minutes to that and 35 to 40 minutes to the quant section.
Okay, perfect. So again, like very important to have your time management in place, and you need to practice that. Like without practice on the day of test, on the day of CET, you might fumble. But if you have practiced it enough through all your mocks, it is possible to, replicate your performance in the mocks, and you can replicate that in your final day test. Perfect. So let's start with individual sections. So how did you attempt the QADI section? Which parts were your favorite ones in this section? Like people might like approximations or quadratic inequalities. What was it like for you? What did you attempt first, QA or DI?
Okay, so I would like to suggest one of the slogans that our teachers use to share, किसी से भी ना मोह माया नहीं रखनी है यहाँ पर. So don't get emotionally attached to any one of the topics. Maybe you hate the subject of, games and tournaments, but you can get easiest of the questions in the lot in the exam. So don't prepare your mind as per कि मैं ये questions करने वाली हूँ या ये नहीं करने वाली हूँ. So what I did was I could go through and peruse the sections. So like if I'm starting with the quant section, I'll just keep reading. I'll read the first question. I won't read it actually. I would go through it. Okay. Going through and reading is different. So I would just go through and I'll get to know, okay, I can do this question in the next 1 minute, or maybe I cannot. If I can do it in the next 1 minute, I would do it right away. I'll try it once, twice, maximum thrice. And if it's okay, if I cannot solve it, I'll move further. And my main objective was to cover all the questions going through. Like going through all the questions is a must, because in this examination, in my slot, I experienced that the last 10 questions were quite easier as compared to the starting ones. So the ones who did not reach to the last section, last part of the section, they had an disadvantage. So I would suggest that go through. The first round should be going through along with solving the easiest questions. Come again, you get time. Come again on, maybe you have marked some of the questions, so you can go through them and you can follow the strategy like for all the sections.
Perfect. That's a slogan to remember. कि किसी के साथ मुंह माया नहीं रखनी है. Whatever is easy, pick that. But make sure that you look at all the questions, because you have to pick the easier ones only. So difficult, anyways, you have to skip that. Perfect.
So I would just like to add, like picking the questions is the most important factor, like very critical. That comes with practice.
Perfect. I think that is two things we have reiterated upon in all of our videos, is that question selection is probably the most important thing for CET. So yeah, with that, let's move on to the sixth question, which is what was the strategy for LR? So 75 questions of LR, what did you usually solve? Or again, was it like whatever seems to be simple, you will do that? Or did you solve puzzles in the beginning or towards the end?
Yes. So I just went through, as I said. So while going through, I could note down how many sets of puzzles I have. So if I have, maybe the question from 5 to 8 is a puzzle of circular arrangement, then I have 13 to 17 of maybe games and tournaments, for example. I know my stronger part is towards the circular arrangement. So I'll just make a note on my rough sheets of paper that I'm going to solve this set first, then the next one, according to the difficulty I feel the question might have. And I'll solve it in that particular order. Obviously, I'll give more attention to the combined questions, as in a set of 5 or 4 questions, because once you get the set, you get 4 or 5 marks straight away. So I went for the puzzles first, then the stuff like relations and like blood relations and logical ability questions.
Okay, great. So it was a bit.
There was no particular order, I would say. Again, depends on easy, then medium, then hard.
Perfect. So your entire strategy in a brief was look at every question. If it's simple, solve it right away. If it's not, you can come back to it later if time permits. Perfect. So what was it like for VARC and AR? Anything specific over there?
Yeah, in VARC, I could keep the passages at the ending. Like I definitely visited the passages, but at the ending, because sometimes it happens that maybe they are too lengthy, to spend maybe more than 5-6 minutes just for 4 questions. So I could go for the other questions, maybe the ones that are shorter in length, or I feel are easier to go through. Also, shorter in length matters. Okay, so the length of the question matters the most after the easy and medium difficulty associated with the same. And I would definitely visit the reading comprehensions at the ending, because as far as my experience is concerned, at least one of the passages is on the simpler side, and you just have to go through and you will get the direct answers. Correct. Like the 4 points are in your basket if you're just going through them. So you shouldn't miss on that thing as well.
Okay, so anything specific or AR also, or was it the same thing? Like see the question?
No, it was the same. It was the same. Just one thing I would like to add in AR sections. So what we are taught until school is that, like in let's take mathematics as a subject, so we need to go through the steps, and if even if your steps are right and the answer is wrong, you will get marks, right?
Hmm.
But here it is complete ulta. It's like doesn't matter what steps you're following, it's just the jugaad concept, that has an advantage here. And I used to do that. I used to have the option filling method, look at the options first. If you're getting through options, क्योंकि बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि eliminate हो जाता है, directly eliminate हो जाता है, you just have to complete between two of the options, and that saves your time. So पहले तो जुगाड़ से देख लो, या तो बोलते हैं ना गावरान मेथड जो बोलते हैं ना, that works a lot in this case because it enhances your speed and you can get to answer. But yes, logical and fundamentals need to be, that ability needs to be completely clear in your mind. You cannot
Perfect.
just guess.
Yeah, of course. So educated guess is what Rutuja is subscribing over here. Okay, just
Yes.
see if you can eliminate the options, then solve from there. But otherwise, you might also have to look at the question. But again, it's simpler and it's much quicker if you know how to eliminate from options, or just use some jugaad, as Rutuja said. Perfect. So let's come to the eighth question, like which I mentioned earlier. How did you manage it with WorkX? Like you were working somewhere. So what was your schedule like? When did you take out time to study in the morning after coming back from office? What was it like?
Okay, so definitely I'm a night-oriented person. So I am on the outside. So I cannot wake up early in the morning. But my timing was generally 9:30 to 4 o'clock. So I could work for like part-time job it was. So they knew, like the owners, they knew I was preparing as well. So I could like dedicate maybe 4 hours per day. And on the weekends, I could dedicate more. As I said, this was my second attempt. And also, I believe that until January, all your studying part should be done, right? So you cannot start studying from January. What you have to
Hmm.
start is practicing mocks and analyzing them. So I didn't spend much time on studying. I used to give mocks, I used to revise some concepts, and I used to analyze them. So if I'm giving 2 hours ka mock, I'll be analyzing it for 4.5 hours. And then I'll be thinking like whatever answers were correct, I would think कि इसको कैसे और तरीके से किया जा सकता था. As I said, जुगाड़ concept then comes in कि कैसे you would have saved the time and then solve that question. And अगर गलत है तो definitely you have to revisit those concepts. So maybe 3.5 4 hours a day, and then weekends pay more of the time.
Okay, perfect. So we know that you have given CET in 2018 also, and 2019 and 2020,
90.
and all the other
Yeah.
exams as well. So what kept you up for these 2 years? Like what was motivating for you, and what would you advise others to do to motivate themselves and like work throughout this very long excruciating process?
Yes, so I would definitely say, मतलब मैं philosophy नहीं देना चाहूंगी, but I have went through it. I know how is it like repeating, and when you're very focused and still you're not getting into the college you are dreaming of, I know it is hell difficult, okay? But it boils down to if you want to, you will do it. Just what is required is some dedication and consistent efforts. And also, I would say that मतलब my reason or my motivation was I always wanted to be in the top 10 of 15 premier institutes of India. I knew I had the capability. Obviously, everyone knows. Just don't doubt your self capabilities. Just have that self confidence that you will do it. And that motivation kept me up basically. कि top 10 में ही जाना है, नहीं जाना है. So नहीं तो नहीं जाना है doesn't come, but it was like top 10 में ही जाना है. And obviously we have the age. It's not like we are 30 or 35 plus. So we can just explore, keep working. Also, the 1 year gave me the opportunity to work in the corporate world. So that was an added advantage. And I would like to say, as maybe your next question, I might have that, or maybe kind of success mantra that I have developed for myself. Okay, so it's the 3 C's. So first is be consistent. That is the utmost level, utmost, like say, major important factor that the maybe that depicts your success. So if it's not like you'll study for 12 hours today and you won't study for the next week, nothing is going to happen. You study 2 hours daily, but that consistency, that is required.
Very important.
By CET perspective, you have to be a continuous enhancer. So as I said, जुगाड़ वाली thing, या फिर जब आप analyze कर रहे हो तो आप उसको कैसे और अच्छे तरीके से कर सकते हो. Continuously improve. There's no limit to what you can think of solving a question by different methods, right? And the third one is concentration. So focus matters. If you want to go to a premier institute, you know what the cutoff is going to be. So stop giving reasons that the cutoff is high, or there are whatever the reasons are. Like I cannot mention the factors right now. I'm not able to think of. But then have focus. So this 3, if you have, you are definitely going to nail it in any exam.
Perfect. So those were 3 C's by Rutuja Somani for you, and that was her success mantra, or probably the slogan that you probably want to keep with yourself for your preparation. My final question to you, Rutuja: what are your plans for the next 2 years? How are you planning to spend your time in doing your MBA?
Yes, now that I've got admission into JBIMS, it is a college with full of opportunities. Like every day is just, there's something to learn, something to grasp, and it is a lot of exposure that I want to get into. I just want to build a huge networking with everyone that comes into the lecturers, the professors, the guest faculties, my batchmates, including Harsh, who is doing such a great job right now. And I would like to learn managerial skills in every aspect. So managing people, managing resources, or maybe how a particular corporate sector works, along with motivating myself things. So maybe on the personal front, if I'm singing, so taking that things along with that. So that is my major aim right now.
All right, that sounds extremely great. I really hope that I get to catch up with you soon. Let's meet soon. And thank you so much for doing this interview with us. Really means a lot, and really means a lot to all the candidates who are probably watching this video right now. So thank you so much, Rutuja, for joining in. And
Sure, Harsh. Thank you so much for giving me the chance. I'm sorry I'm intervening. I would like to add one point that I missed, and that matters a lot. So, in the last year CET, I had scored 138 marks, and it was just a matter of 11 marks. This year it was 149, right? So, my percentile was 99.89, and
okay,
this year it was 99.99. What changed that was not the strategies, not the efforts, just one thing, and that was the calmness that one keeps on the day, on
on the
the
day.
D day. So last year I was quite nervous. I was like, maybe what will happen and all those stuff that every candidate goes through. But this year it was just like, for me it was just another mock. That's it. I was like, this is just another mock. Just the atmosphere has changed and nothing else, and that matters. I would like to say every candidate to just give it right away without any negative or pessimistic thoughts. That's it.
Perfect. So you have to be in Zen mode when you are giving your final day exam. And that was Rutuja Somani for all of you out there. So till our next video, I would really encourage all of you to keep hustling and keep working hard. And we'll see you soon. That's it from this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.